On an Angus cattle farm in the central west of New South Wales, local farmer Rory Stonestreet along with his father Chris have set up a drought prevention feeding strategy that they hope will protect them against the uncertainty of climate change.
So here at Blaney we run a self-replacing Angus herd. In 2006 we had a pretty severe drought here in the central west and virtually all over New South Wales. So our whole breeding herd had to be trucked up into southern Queensland at Roma and put on the road, which is obviously a massive cost.
In a study undertaken by the CSIRO and Bureau of Meteorology, New South Wales is reported to have become 0.9 degrees Celsius warmer since 1950. The report predicted that by 2030, farmers are likely to experience more severe droughts and increased risk of bushfires and less but more intense annual rainfall. Megan Rowlands, an expert in agribusiness planning and lecturer at Charles Sturt University, has been working to assist farmers in adapting to these changes.
So what we seem to be experiencing, and this is from our own data and from what we visually see, is this volatility in agriculture. We seem to be getting not only hotter summers, but we seem to be at times getting colder winters. So it's these extremities that we're dealing with that are difficult. So in agriculture, we need to create this resilient landscape that's going to deal with these extreme conditions to be able to continue to produce food and to keep a healthy landscape going forward.
Many farmers have developed drought prevention strategies just like this one that involve on-farm feed storage. Though not always in direct response to climate change warnings, these plans provide reinforcements in the case of extreme weather conditions.
So this allows us to store a large amount of silage on farm because it's a low cost for us. It's basically just digging a hole in the ground and burying the silage, and it's a pretty high quality feed. There's more nutrients in it than in hay, so it's a high quality feed at a low cost. After 2006 is when we decided there was a problem, we need to do something about it. So we started digging holes and burying the silage. Having this silage here basically ensures that we can keep a healthy and sustainable herd throughout the future, and basically makes you sleep a bit better at night knowing that in worst case scenario there is a drought. You've got a plan, you've got to back up, something to fall onto.
So a lot of farmers are actually quite terrific in implementing new methods, new farming and grazing methods within the industry to combat this volatility that we're dealing with. Some of those methods include, from a grazing perspective, time plan grazing, or self-grazing is another word. It's difficult because if we have a really dry period, people do go away from the environmental factor because they need, first and foremost, most farmers will look after their families first, and if they can't put food on the table or educate their children, that will be the first primary issue.
I think the biggest thing is to have a plan. You know, like if it gets this dry, you know, we sell X amount of cattle at this time, instead of just hanging on and then going, oh crap, we're buggered now. I think it would be very beneficial to farmers if there was more research done on what the climate is doing and if temperature's going to rise in the future, so you can adjust to them. But on the same token, I think like a lot of weather predictions and stuff have just been so wrong. Even in recent years, like they've just got it wrong time and time again.
With the New South Wales Government calling on local decision makers to act on climate change, farmers are often lost in a maze of advice coming from different agriculture bodies, government and big industry players. Megan Rowlands believes that to tackle climate change adaptability and to ensure a sustainable future for our agriculture industry, we need to provide education and support from a united front.
I do think that government could assist certainly with training systems and schemes, to support farmers to understand how they can better manage their landscape and get a more resilient landscape going forward. We need more support, more people that are going to understand what's going on in agriculture, understand the positive things that are happening, and get those ones that perhaps are lagging behind to really understand why we should be implementing some changes and how it's going to help them long term.
Ruby Mitchell, UTS News.